Can I get a close-up on my face?
No.
My hair?
We would need a camera operator for that. Unfortunately, we are catfish-less.
I know.
We are one catfish down.
I feel like singing some blues. Give me my guitar. Do some improv blues singing.
Oh, no, 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 no.
I met a catfish.
Oh, no, 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 no.
No, that's all I got.
Okay.
Welcome to the Max is Super Awesome Comic Review Show. We are here, as always, every week to bring you the latest and greatest, and sometimes most disappointing, in weekly comics. This was a monster of a week for new books, so to help you sort through the things you absolutely need to read, the things you should absolutely maybe not consider reading, and the things...
Or read it for free, you know.
Yeah.
Borrow it from a friend.
Like,
if you need to.
We had a lot of questions. Last week was the first time that we debuted a segment called Bottom 5. Now, make no mistake, the bottom 5 are by no means the worst comics that came out that week, because we did not talk about Beast Commandos.
No, which you love.
I did love
it. For some godforsaken reason.
Those ducks, man.
That was a very politically incorrect book.
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was.
Kind of racist.
Yeah, it was. So, I want to address what the bottom 5 is. If you took the top 5 and made it a top 10, they would be the bottom 5 of that segment. So anyway, I would like to address Mr. Tom Neely, creator of The Humans, which we reviewed last week. It was in the bottom 5. My apologies if you thought that I was ragging on your book. I liked everything about your book, and I thought that it delivered on every single promise that it made.
We said that.
I just wanted more promises, dude. Go deeper.
Or, you know, every book isn't for every person. And we did say explicitly, if you're into motorcycle gang stories, if you like Sons of Anarchy,
Road Warrior,
that kind of thing, this book is going to be right up your alley.
I will say today, I had nothing but rave reviews from people that I sold it to last week, came in this week, and they were like, oh my god, The Humans, I need more of it, so...
Didn't you question maybe his eyesight?
Yeah, I thought maybe, since you thought that my co-host Foxy was a raccoon, maybe you needed your eyes checked. That was all I said. Just a very simple comment.
He's concerned for you. Again, this isn't an insult.
Nope.
Moving on.
Moving on to the bottom 5 of this week. Alright, let's start with the best of the bottom 5. Maybe. Batman number 36, Endgame, part 2. Loved 35.
Oh, it was the best issue of Batman since the New 52 started, I thought.
Yeah, probably since issue 5. Which was part of the Court of the Owls, which was really cool. But disappointing things in 36. Trying to match up the timeline. I don't want to get into too many spoilers about this book, but the timelines from Batman Annual, Death of the Family, 0 Year, and Endgame do not match up at all. Normally, I don't have a problem with it, and I'm the first person to say, it's comic books, screw continuity, let's move on. But it's all the same writer, so I just feel like that's a little weird.
Speaking of Joker in specific,
right,
as far as how he relates to all of these timelines and stories.
It's one character and one timeline and one creator, so the lack of cohesiveness along the great Batman time stream continuum was a little weird.
Also, you had a good point about the Atom, too. The Atom is name dropped in it.
Yeah, the Atom is used in it, and now I might be way off my rocker on this one, so please feel free to hate bash me all you would like for saying this, but last time I checked, the Atom was part of Stormwatch, which was assigned to the other side of the galaxy. So where he found any time to help Batman do anything remotely close to shrinking down red giant suns and putting them in a boxing glove, I don't know, because he seemed busy last time I checked.
It sounds cool.
Also, I wasn't even sure that he was the Atom yet, because in Future's End it seemed like he just became the Atom, and that's 5 years in the future. So I don't know. Again, time stream, continuum, issues, put Endgame in our bottom 5. However, I will say, Greg Capullo, you were put on this earth to draw the Joker. Alright, next up on the top, bottom 5. Top of the bottom 5. Top of the bottom. Top or bottom.
You had top or bottom.
Spider-Verse issue number 1. Why is it on the bottom 5? Not because it's bad.
It's not.
Katie Cook had a great story in it. And she wrote and illustrated that one by herself, right, Foxy?
Yeah. Totally. And right where it ends off, I'm like, I would like to keep reading this story. That's a cool character.
Can we just Marvel only now publish Spider-Verse books?
Yeah.
Like, just take those characters and just publish them. We don't need Captain America. We really don't.
We'll get to that.
like, what I didn't like about it was it felt like this was Spider-Man Team Up Part 2.
Yeah.
Because what is called Spider-Verse and what I would think would be the driving force behind the whole storyline really had nothing to do with the ongoing Spider-Verse story. And it seemed like all of the ideas that couldn't fit into the Edge of Spider-Verse were thrown into this book.
Totally. So, if it's going to be your title, you know, the main title for the crossover, you would think it would be the real meat of the story.
A little bit of meat. It's all I want.
But there's no meat. There is no meat. There is, however, non-essential good times.
Yeah. This is a joint bottom 5, 4 and 5, because we couldn't agree on which one should be 4 and which one should be 5. So we'll start with Captain America: The Mighty Avengers, number 1. And the other one on that list is All New Captain America, number 1. Foxy, what do you think about All New Captain America, number 1?
I thought that Stuart Immonen's art was incredible, as I expected it to be. I love the Alex Ross variant. The mood, the pacing, it was fun. There was some reverence in there too. It gets into, you know, his family, his roots, whatever. This is where it lost you, which is the first page.
I'm going to try and say this as politely as possible, because Lord knows I don't want a lawsuit. But no, right from the beginning, the whole book felt forced. I didn't like his backstory. Maybe that's the Falcon's real backstory. I don't know, but it felt very Martin Luther King Jr. to me, which, hey, who doesn't like Martin Luther King Jr.? Great guy, true American hero, but, like, very cliched opening, followed by some pretty cool action, followed by, okay, if anyone out there knows how much Captain America's shield weighs, please let me know, because there's an ongoing debate between us as to whether or not a Falcon can carry Captain America's shield at speeds of probably 30 to 40 miles an hour.
I think you're making a lot of assumptions about how fast the bird was carrying the shield.
I'm thinking about a man falling through a cave.
They were no longer falling. They were on a forward trajectory. I will say that I feel like...
So the bird had to pick it up from below Falcon, now Captain America.
No, because Falcon was in a dive. Falcon was in a dive. The shield was flopping around in the wind above them. You would have to assume, because it's less aerodynamic than a man intentionally diving down.
Yep.
The bird catches the shield and carries it at probably a downward sloping angle towards where Falcon is now, on like a, you know, he's going on the x-axis now, where it was purely on a y-axis before. Yeah. It's at a slope. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt.
The way I see this is bird grabs shield, shield drags bird and shield into pit of lava, is what should have happened.
It's a Falcon. They're really powerful.
I don't know that they're that powerful.
I will admit that there would have to be a hell of an edge on the shield for it to successfully catch it at all.
So possibly I'm being nitpicky.
Also, you were offended that Armadillo was in the big villain reveal at the end.
I was offended by that whole lineup at the end.
You got Baron Zemo, Crossbones, and Taskmaster. I don't know who all those other guys were.
Right, but one of them's name is Armadillo. He's a man, but with the powers of an armadillo. Terrifying, I know. Look upon my work, she mighty, and despair. Also, what, Bat Dude? I don't know who that was.
Yeah,
and Cobra? Get out of here! That's not a supervillain team-up. It's a bingo club.
Well, it was still beautiful.
It was.
We'll agree to disagree.
It was super beautiful, and there were moments that I liked about it, but come on, I was really waiting. I've been waiting for Rick Remender to blow my mind with Captain America since his first issue of Captain America, and at no point have I been like, this is the Rick Remender that I know and love. Which brings me to Captain America and the Mighty Avengers. Well, this is an Axis tie-in, which pretty much...
yeah, we were going to talk about Axis again now that I'm caught up.
Oh yeah, well...
So I'm caught up. I think I like Axis less than I did when we talked about it last.
When it was only in theory, it was really cool. Now that it's in reality, it's less cool.
Yeah, the big thing that I was supposed to be excited about that happened in issue 4, Genesis became Apocalypse. Just like, off camera, instantaneously, he's got the big A belt again now.
Yeah, one moment he leaves, the next he comes back, and he's like, look at the A on my belly.
From child to hulkish man, we all kind of expected him to become Apocalypse, but I expected it to be like over time and a story, not off-panel for nonsense.
Yeah, so my favorite parts of Captain America and the Mighty Avengers were, one, I mean, it's an Axis book, so the hate wave, whatever ridiculous thing that is, did affect Captain America and apparently Superior Iron Man. But yeah, the whole book is Captain America becoming more and more angry. Kind of cool. I like Captain America as a villain. What I really liked, though, at the end, he was like, let's kill the mighty Avengers. And I was like, yes, please, kill the mighty Avengers.
Really, the most heinous thing about this book is that it came out the same week as the main Captain America title, and they're not in the same timeline continuity.
No, like, very, very poor planning.
I would assume that Falcon Cap takes place after the events of Axis have cleared up, and he recovers his personality or whatever, but wow.
Yeah. So those were our bottom 5 of the week, and now on to something not bottom 5. Starting with Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales, The Ultimate Spider-Man, issue number 7, because this book really needed to change its name for the 3rd time.
Yeah, every time they change it, they have to add more words.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait till it's like 5th incarnation, and it's going to be just half a page of words. And then
Ultimate Universe, starring Miles Morales as the Spider-Man, who is the Spider-Man.
Who can never keep his mask on. Does anybody... Come on, people. It's not a CW TV show. Put your mask back on.
But... solid series, as
crazy spoilers in this one. I won't go into them because they are crazy spoilers.
But we learned things about Miles' dad, we learned things about Miles' girlfriend, and we continue to be teased about what exactly is going on with this Peter Parker that should be dead.
Shenanigans. What's going on there. Next up, it's an image number 1 from Ivan Brandon and Nick Klein. I hope I pronounced his names right. Klein. It is called Drifter. And wow, was it beautiful.
Yeah, the art is fantastic. It looks like a book that Humanoids would put out.
Yes. Excellent artwork. I like the story. It feels like a spaghetti western in space, so it's got a little bit of that Copperhead vibe going on to it, but much smaller, so far, story, but it looks like the world building is going to go to like a big scale fairly soon, but right now it's just the main character trying to figure out what happened and why he's in this like small town on the edge of the galaxy. So definitely check out Drifter number 1. It is on my radar as a hot new image title. Moving along with number 1s, we also have The Kitchen number 1 from Vertigo Comics with art by Ming Doyle, who is awesome. Love Ming Doyle.
Colors by Jordi Belair. Story by Ollie Masters. Don't know Ollie Masters, but
it's got a cool name though.
It's a mob wife book. Their husbands are in jail. They have to pick up the slack while they're away, and it's not going great.
No, I mean the book is going great.
They're not made for that life.
Turns out you don't just walk into being a mob boss.
Nope.
Much like being a nuclear engineer, they require some sort of background in that.
Yeah.
Unlike being a comic book review dude,
no
background required.
No resume even. You just show up and do it.
First, next up we have from Mark Millar, MPH issue number 4.
Finally.
Right? I mean, Millar, he's gonna drag his feet from time to time. That's the way the man operates, and I respect his craft for that. But you don't make it on my top 5 with delays, buddy. You know the rules. Ask Neil Gaiman if you're confused about them.
Also, I was really looking forward to a follow-up to the end of issue 3, but then they don't go back to that.
Right. They stick in the present with this other story, and it wasn't. I mean, it was a great issue. Great story.
It's just not what I wanted right then.
Next up on our list of notables is Wytches issue number 2. Scott Snyder, Jacques, great story, continues to be a truly creepy experiment in comic.
Yeah, I was reading it with Off-Camera Boy earlier today, and he was upset. He was like, I don't know if I can keep reading this. It's creeping me out. I'm gonna have nightmares.
It's dark, but really cool. I love the pacing for the story, that it kind of goes all over the place. There's moments where like everything seems to happen in a page, and then you go like 4 or 5 pages and it's just like a day in the life of sunshine and warm flowers, and then no, terrible things.
Look out the window.
Ah! Don't go into the forest.
We do see more of the witches in this issue, and they just as terrifying when you see them as when you imagine them.
Yeah, the last 2 pages, there's a lot of reveal that goes on. I won't go into it because, again, spoilers. But this book is definitely, I mean, it should be on everybody's radar at this point. Image, it's certainly on their radar. I mean, it was their big push this week. They sent out a bunch of free copies to the stores that are participating in the Image promotional program. So that shows you of all the titles that Image is publishing, they really like this one. I really like this one. Foxy likes this one. You should probably check it out.
Oh yeah.
And without any further ado, we're just going to keep this bad boy rolling right along into the top 5.
Top 5!
Top 5. OBC. How I miss you.
It's the top 5!
And coming in at number 5, it is Copperhead issue number 3. Reading all the other Image books this week, there was tons of ads for this one, and one ad was just like all of my favorite writers raving about Copperhead, so I was like, alright, probably going to read Copperhead next.
Yeah, if the author of Saga says this is the best Image book, then I guess I'm going to read that one.
What the quote they don't put in there is, if it's the best Image book, not done by me.
Right, right. No, he said the best Image book that debuted this year.
Yeah, okay.
He saved himself there.
That's how you did it. But no, great story. Again, I love the Western sci-fi vibe that's been picking up through comics lately. Two genres that really go well together. And the mom and son, the main characters of this story, beautiful characters. Love them. Not so much on the side characters. They're a little weak, but they're coming around. It's only 3 issues in. I'll give them a little bit of time. I mean, pick up the first 3 issues. You will not regret it. Next up on our list, it is Batgirl number 36. Yes, I got the number right. First try. Score! I actually like 36 a lot more. I felt 35, a lot of new ideas were coming at you. They were trying some different stuff to develop Batgirl's character. And I think maybe they pushed some things a little too far.
A little too hard with the social media.
Yeah. It's awesome. I can't wait to see what other books along this line that DC is going to roll out starting sometime next year.
Yeah.
And moving along to
number 3.
Number 3, it is Outcast issue number 5. Man, oh man, Robert Kirkman, Paul Azteca, awesome. Can I just call you Paul Awesome? You're gonna be Paul Awesome from now on.
Paul Awesome and Betty Brettweiser on the beautiful colors.
Yes, yes.
Just like the beautiful colors in Velvet.
Yes. I mean, everything about this book is fantastic. The first issue I fell in love with. Foxy mentioned, we were talking about earlier, issues 2 and 3 and 4. The story kind of slowed down a little bit. It was a different take on character development. But issue 5, world building goes up to like a whole new level. The way they react to everything that's happening to them is very realistic. This book is set in a very real world, and so you believe that the terrible things happening around them are really believable. The same thing that he did in The Walking Dead, which we also will mention that issue 134 came out this week. And I read this, having not read a bunch of other Walking Dead, and still love this issue.
Yeah, for me it was right up there with Outcast.
And coming in at number 2 is actually issue number 2 of Thor, which, Jason Aaron. Awesome. You are so my favorite person this week. Man, we still don't know who Thor is. No questions were answered in this issue, but I so do not care.
Yeah,
so
I like her, almost her first line of dialogue, the oh hell yes, but hell spelled the Asgardian way. Yeah. There's a lot of cute moments like that.
All I can say is we definitely know it's not an Asgardian. And I love that I love that they brought the Thought Bubble back. Thought Bubble's making a comeback in comics to distinguish that she thinks like a normal human, she speaks like an Asgardian, she wields the hammer awesomely.
Yeah.
It's so cool. She's like, how do I fly with this thing? I spin it around real fast. Whoop. Like, oh, fly.
Yeah, the way they illustrate her destroying those ice giant wolves or whatever they are.
If Original Sin was done just to give us this Thor book, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, worth it.
I'm cool. I feel fulfilled. Which brings us to our number 1. And last week we were thinking, are there any books that I'm reading consistently that are better, or that like would always be on top 5 that aren't done by Image? Came up with 1 so far. This is an ongoing list, but way at the top of that list is from Boom Studios. It is Wild's End by Dan Abnett. Dude.
Issue number 3 continues to seriously impress me. The colors are just vivid and beautiful. The night shots are
beautiful.
Purples, the day shots are yellows, everything's so rich.
I feel like I live in this meadow with these people.
Yeah, these animals.
Part of them.
I like my Attacking Animal comics, it's true. But This is just super well written, and there's back matter at the back of each issue that expands the universe. The back matter in issue 2 really brought a lot to this new female character that's been introduced, and I just can't. I can't wait to see where it goes, but I'm going to be sad to see it end because it's only 6 issues.
Yeah, it's going to be really short, and I think the thing that I find most impressive about it is it's completely unoriginal. This is not an original story. This is a story that has been told a bajillion times, over and over and over again. Small town, alien issues. I mean, it's War of the Worlds. But it's done with such care and passion and dedication to be what it is and to be set in this world that at no point am I bored or stale or comparing it to anything else or even thinking about anything else. When I'm reading Wild's End, I'm in Wild's End, and that's the end of the story. And that is why it's the #1 pick this week. And we will be right back with some words of the show.
Words of the show. Words of the show.
We got a few things that are words of the show. A lot of it looking forward to next week. Things that we should be excited for next week. Amazing Spider-Man issue #10. I can't wait for the Spider-Verse story to get back on track and continue to move forward, as I was really hoping it would do this week. Next up, Batman and Robin issue #36. Probably going to prove to me why Batman and Robin is the bad title to read as we continue along with Robin Rises. Can't wait for that. Elektra #8 comes out next week. In and of itself, not a big deal, but I'd like to take this moment to point out to anybody that has not checked out this graphic novel. It is Elektra Volume 1. Came out, I think, a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. DeMundo's art. This is one of the most beautiful books I've ever seen in my life, and if you've been waiting for an Elektra story to come along that wasn't done 30 years ago by Frank Miller, that was actually going to do justice to the character, then read this book. This book is amazing. Guardians of the Galaxy issue 21 comes out next week.
You know what that means?
It means the symbiote storyline begins.
Planet of the Symbiotes.
4th installment of Multiversity comes out. I'm very excited for that one. Justice League comes out next week. We'll continue on with the Amazovirus storyline. Spider-Woman issue #1 comes out next week.
More forward momentum for Spider-Verse.
Yes. Hopefully that one's good.
I've got high hopes.
That's a polarizing book. People are either going to love it or hate it. I can't wait to talk about it. Wonder Woman issue #36 comes out next week. This will be the first issue with
the Finches.
The Finches!
The first book by the Finches.
So yeah, the Brian Azzarello story arc is over. It was amazing. I would recommend it. This story arc looks amazing, continuing kind of where his left off. Wonder Woman is the god of war and gets to go be a war god. And on a side note, one of my favorite little pet books is coming out. It's called Princess Ugg. It's about a Viking who gets sent to princess school, but she's like, I'm a Viking. Vikings.
That's it. That's all you gotta say. Vikings.
And the last announcement for next week, two-parter. We get 2 amazing hardcovers next week. First off, we get the Greg Rucka Lazarus story collected into one hardcover. I believe it's the first 2 volumes. It's amazing. It's going to be awesome. Secondly, some book called Saga's coming out in hardcover. Moving on.
We'll talk more heavily about that one.
I don't know.
When it's out.
It's a thing. My PR people tell me it's a...
Apparently it's a book
deal
to read.
Yeah, I don't know.
Watch out for that.
Record sales, I don't know. Things that really don't... It's awesome. Come on. Saga hardcovers. It's 3 volumes of Saga in one giant, beautiful hardcover.
Well, I wanted to mention a few things from previews because we forgot to bring that up.
Oh yeah, Foxy has some words of the show.
We've got the unbeatable Squirrel Girl in the Marvel solicit.
Really? You're gonna get
You're surprised right now?
For Squirrel Girl?
You're surprised. Seriously?
Squirrel Girl is the reason why Thanos is and always will be lame, because he was taken down by a character called Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, the
Galactus also subsequently taken down by Squirrel Girl.
We've got the first Star Wars book that Marvel's going to be publishing.
By Jason Aaron.
Yeah, with art by John Cassaday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So John Cassaday and Jason Aaron doing Star Wars. Yeah.
Can we take bets on how long it's going to be before that book's delayed due to art issues?
Well, he's had some lead time.
No, I love Cassaday's art. He does get a bad rap for being late on things, but hey, he's awesome.
It's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. Also, the return of Ed Brubaker's Criminal.
Very true. is awesome.
Awesome. And an even awesomer Savage Sword of Criminal variant cover on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know how that relates at all.
Magazine format.
Yeah, bonus content with
Yeah.
a crazy cover.
Which is throwback to Conan.
Red. And, we just talked about Lazarus and Saga getting the big hardcover treatment. We've got the Big Hard Sex Criminals, Volume 1, also solicited this month.
Yeah.
That's gonna be amazing.
It's going to be big and hard.
I am.
Full of laughs.
Yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to bring up was Casanova. Matt Fraction's Casanova returning with a new storyline.
Yes.
That's, I mean, if we've got the Moon and Ba, if either Moon or Ba is drawing something, it's a cause to celebrate.
Ba
Moon, Ba Moon. Celebrate.
This should always be in one book. Just
Celebrate
good times, come on! Alright. Thank you, Foxy,
Yeah,
for the update on previews.
no problem.
Previews come out the last week of every month, so check them out. They show you everything that will be coming out in the future.
And if you don't pre-order, sometimes you don't get to read a book because your shop won't order it.
That's right.
And then you're sad and you're gonna cry and go,
I mean,
why don't I have Outcast #1 first print?
And be like, why did you order previews?
Yeah, read previews, man.
Anyway, something came out this week that is a comic series that I really appreciate. I really love it. It's called Hero Comics. This is the 2014 one. They put this comic out every year, and what they do is they get staples of the industry to come together. They tell some short stories. This one's got an original, the Mac story by Sam Keith, illustrated and written by Sam Keith. A few years ago at the Albuquerque Comic Expo, I had a chance to talk with some of the people from Hero Comics, and what they do is she told me the story about an old comic book colorist whose name I cannot remember at the moment, and I'm very sorry for that. But he had been in the industry for a long time, one of the originals, great guy, but as the industry became more and more wrapped up in the 21st century, his skills as a colorist became less and less and less, and it got to the point where he couldn't actually work as a colorist anymore because he was like 70, 65, and couldn't, like, you know, what's a tablet? So Hero Comics paid for him, take a class, learn how to use it, got him a job coloring comics again.
Wow.
Saved his whole life. Subsequently, if you're a comic creator and you are in a car accident and you can't work, Hero Comics, they're gonna be there to bail you out. They're gonna be like, hey, your grocery bill's paid this month. Hey, you know, here's an avenue to, like, here's a lawyer to help you do all these things. Since its inception, they've helped almost $1 million worth of aid going to, you know, comic book creators, the people that give you the stories that every month touch, move, and inspire you. This is a serious way for $4 that you can be there for those people when they need you. So check out Hero Comics. One cover has The Max by Sam Keith on it. The other one features some art by J. Scott Campbell. It's a seriously amazing project that they have going on, and it does really, really do good in the world. And that is my words of the show. With that note, until next time, stay frosty.
I got it.